Well, it's nice to meet you, Hossam Kandil, Vice President, MTN Group at Ericsson. Thank you so much for joining us on Tech Trends.
Thank you, Ololai, for having me.
Now, let's begin this conversation from Africa, which has been reported as, the fastest growing continent in the world. And of course, with this thriving and vibrant ecosystem, how has Ericsson been able to position itself to ensure a more connected Africa?
We have an initiative in Ericsson called Africa in Motion, and for that we are putting lots of focus on how to enable Africa as a continent to develop both from a technology perspective, but even also how we enable societies and people to get the best out of digitization. And from there we help on different dimensions within the whole ecosystem. We act with our partners, our customers. We try to also contribute to policymakers, and we try to help a lot even, the youth, whether when it comes to innovations or when it comes to employment opportunities. So we try as much as possible to tap into the different players within the ecosystem of ICT.
And in your opinion, how critical is digital in securing Africa's future?
The best thing about digital is that it removes the barriers and borders between collaborations, between people and towards the outside world even. So we have seen that how much COVID, when it came, without really digital platforms that was capable to enable people to communicate, transact, and collaborate together, maybe we wouldn't have been able to make it as much as we have been able to sustain that very tough period. So for us, the way that we see it is that digital is going to enable economies to develop. And that has been out of a study that, every development in ICT contributes strongly with a percentage point into the economic development GDP of a country. But also when you look at how vast a scale countries are in Africa, and the digital divide that is available that deprives maybe people who are sitting in rural areas, maybe they don't have as much accessibility to technologies and information. And with digital, they would be able to have their good chance into realizing their dreams. I think these are two very key aspects that we strive to contribute to with our strive towards digitization.
Now, if we bring this conversation down to Nigeria as one of the big four countries, with an impressive tech ecosystem, what is Ericsson's contribution to the growth of our tech ecosystem?
Absolutely. Nigeria is a phenomenally large country, both from a footprint perspective, amount of capabilities and resources, and natural resources that are available that makes the economy itself diverse to a large extent. What we have been trying to do is to first, through our partners, help a lot to craft at least the connectivity layer through good coverage solution, good capacity solutions, and also new technologies that would help the economy to make the best use of the digitization. We've also been very happy that we run a global innovation program across Ericsson. And we've been very, very lucky that the second place as the best innovation globally came out of Nigeria. And that represents how much we enable also youth to think that there is no borders for innovation. There is no borders from contributing with the best ideas that come out of Africa that would make an impactful contribution to the whole world. So we try, as I said, to contribute on different dimensions. Also, we continuously make meetings with policymakers to make sure that we send our views and consultations when it comes to the spectrum usage, how policies should be made, and so forth.
You're also yet to meet with people and talents you've championed. How do you commit to local teams as Ericsson?
For us, people is an extremely important pillar for realizing Ericsson's ambition, but also for tapping into realities of the markets that we work in. So for us, it's very, very important to not only rely on our experts who are coming from abroad, who sometimes we bring on to make sure that we have the best experience on the ground, but also blend them strongly with local caliber and local capabilities, be it experts from the local market like Nigeria, or even fresh graduates. So we have been having a very strong program that has been gaining appraise. We have launched it across Africa, but also in Nigeria, where we bring in graduates from universities. We admit them into Ericsson, into an internship program for 1 year. They work within different functions, being sales, operations, project management, solutions support, whatever it is. And we train them so that they come up to the level of delivering such job requirements. We blend them within our teams. We make them as part of our workforce, and we prepare them for the job market. And then after the year end, we open up for employment opportunities for the ones of them who would be interested and fit to continue with us. And we also open up for bringing another batch of graduates. So I think all this together and sitting together as one team, our culture in Ericsson is a very open culture. We do not, people sit with the senior executive, and even if they are graduate, they call each other by names. They just challenge each other, and that's part of the power that we get. So I use the chance when I come over here to listen to the local teams, whether they are the experts, whether they are the fresh graduates, and listen more from an outside-in view, from a local view, on even advices that they might give me as a person to help contribute more, whether to the Nigerian economy, to the Nigerian industry, or also take back with me back to Ericsson. So I think people is an extremely important pillar for us.
Now, you've talked about all the good things that Ericsson is doing in Nigeria, but how are you investing in network to connect Africa?
We do not really think of one size fits all for all the continents, right? Every continent has its own peculiarities, right? So what we try to do is that also we try to research to understand what products can be fit for the African reality. So I'm very proud that we came up with one product that came out of an innovation from the Middle East and Africa team that was sent back to the headquarters. And based on this, we have developed a product that was now rolled out into several networks, also in Nigeria, that has a better fit for power consumption, that is much less, footprint that is so much smaller, weight that is so much lighter, and even that would help to be more fit for rollout in rural areas like the African reality. And that product came at a cheaper cost than its counterparts, while being still at a very, very trained capability from being able to support the new technologies like 4G and 5G and so forth. So this is one of the things that we are trying to make sure that we create products that are able to be fit for the purpose of the continent that we work with. And when we come with such tailored products, that helps a lot to enable such countries to face the challenges that they have when it comes to rolling out technology that is fit, that is more affordable, and it's still providing the latest technologies.
And of course, I have to ask you, what is your drive at Ericsson when it comes to using technology for good and, inspiring action for further development?
It's a driving force from the company to become a contributing company, not only from gaining profits to our shareholders, but to being an active member of the world and in the society. And it's a driving force for me as a person who have children, who have family, and want to become, even individually as a person, a contributor to the different footprints that I go to. So I come here to Nigeria, I meet very nice friends, I meet very good customers, and I eat nice food, right? And I see some good sceneries, like I was just mentioning. and I want to give something back for all these good things that came to me. So I think it's a drive for us on different levels to make sure that we give good things back, but also help develop the world around us to clarify what the segment of the industry that we're working with can contribute back to the whole world, and to create a notion, an example of how ICT itself, with the improved digitization, can help the world become a better place.
That was such an insightful conversation with you, Hossam Kandu, Vice President, MTN Group at Ericsson. Thank you so much for joining us on Tech Trends.
Thank you so much for having me. It has been a pleasure.